Hello, this is Showcase, the only show that takes you inside the world's top film school.
My name is Miriam.
And I'm Hartley.
And this week is Guest Week, where we have USC filmmakers on to talk about their films. And today we're going to have Josh Litman and Gus Bennelli on to talk about their films.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome back to Showcase. My name is Miriam, and I'm a Visual and Performing Arts Studies junior.
And I'm Hartley, a film and television production major and a freshman.
And this week is Guest Week, where we have USC filmmakers on to talk about their films. So today we're going to start off the show by watching Breaking Up with Celia, and we'll talk to filmmaker Josh afterwards.
Enjoy!
Celia, I love you. I do. But this isn't working out. I feel trapped. I feel like I don't have any freedom. I feel like you're there all the time. Day and night, when I wake up, breakfast, lunch, when I go to school, when I go to my work. You're always around. I haven't been alone in months. Even when I'm alone, you're there. Somewhere. I blink, you're there. I wake up, you're always there. And I need some freedom. And you're sort of driving me crazy. Up the wall, down the wall, off the wall. I'm sorry, but I'm breaking up with you. Celia,
Thank you for taking me here. I know what you want. You want to have a three-way. It's okay. I want one too. You look nervous. You know, you're cute when you're nervous.
I mean, Celia, there's something I have to tell.
Something you need to what?
Celia, I'm gay.
Mm-hmm.
I like men. Wainers, balls, all that jazz.
All that jazz.
Musicals too. See?
You're funny. That's why I like you. Oops. Brain freeze?
Space is such a dump. It's perfect.
Celia, I have AIDS.
What?
No, I don't have AIDS. I'm religious now. I don't know why I said AIDS, but I talked to a rabbi this morning and I'm religious now.
I can't tell whether you're joking or not, but you know I support you. Whatever path you choose in life.
I can only date Jewish people. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay, what?
I'll convert.
Oh, and I can't have any more sex till I'm married.
Done.
Just like that?
Whatever it takes. I'll always be there for you. Right by your side. Do it. Do it.
Do it! In the dancing already!
Celia, I'm breaking up with you.
What? I love you too.
And that was Breaking Up with Celia, and we're lucky enough to have the filmmaker Josh on the show. So, hi, Josh.
Hey.
I have a quick question before we get started. Did you have a girlfriend in the past that inspired this film? Maybe.
Maybe the concoction of things from different people.
Okay.
Or were you just kind of inspired by the Woody Allen Jewish neuroses, problems with women style?
I don't know. I've never seen a Woody Allen film actually.
Oh, you never seen one?
I
Is
know,
that
it's really
legal for
weird.
film students?
I don't know.
I shouldn't say that.
It's fine. We'll forget about it. But so in all seriousness, how did you create the premise for this film? What was the pre-production like?
Well, this was the P2, the second project of our graduate 507 class. So this is the second film, pretty much, that I made in
At
graduate
USC,
at
not
USC.
Ever.
Okay.
Yeah, so I made a bunch of films like before I got here, but this was, I don't know, we had a lot of limitations and
Like what?
just a lot of things you couldn't do that I was used to doing. I couldn't do things the old way. Like to every single place I shot, we had like a gajillion hazardous forms. So I was getting used to that whole process.
Oh, so doing it officially.
Yeah, doing everything the industry way. But then on one hand I was doing that, but at the other, like, I had a lot of things go wrong just before this shoot, which was really funny.
Will you tell us about some of those?
Uh,
I know it's not quite on topic of what was the creative process of the
Oh.
film, but if you've got anything,
creative
you
process
can
of the
tell.
film was I thought it'd be funny, and like
Yeah, it was
I
funny.
thought I wanted to keep it simple, right? It seemed like a simple idea for this type of project. Just kind of three separate incident, telling a story. I just wanted to tell like a simple story, which sometimes I think is people get lost in visuals and all kinds of things, and just wanted to tell something simple and funny.
So what was some of the stuff that went wrong?
Oh well,
Bringing it back to that.
I lost my actor like the day of, the lead actor.
Wow.
He
What, did
got
they fall in
he
a
got-
hole or
The
something?
he
guy
got
or the
sick,
girl?
The guy.
Oh.
Okay.
The guy got sick, and I had to get somebody else literally last
Very
minute.
last minute.
Wow.
I called up another guy. I was like, "Hey, would you like the part?"
Was he one of the actors that auditioned for it, or?
Actually, he auditioned for somebody else, for a friend of mine. He didn't audition for me.
Oh, wow.
So like, yeah, but he luckily I think he was pretty good. And then, so we got that first day of shooting done, which was like the last scene. Then we had to do the first two scenes in the yogurt shop and the park, the next day. And that night she got like antibiotic poisoning. She like took antibiotics with food or
Wow.
something when she
Oh my
wasn't supposed to.
That's not good.
And she was like throwing up all night in the morning, so like we didn't get to do our shoot in the morning, so everything had to be pushed back. So instead I did the yogurt shop scene at night, and the park scene then had to be pushed back as well, so I lost any crew who was going to help me.
Oh,
So I had to do
no.
everything by myself.
Wow.
pretty
So
much,
was
yeah.
finding the locations hard?
Well,
Yeah,
I
where
have
did you shoot those two?
I have a friend, his name is Eugene, and you know Eugene. And Nika, and they own a yogurt shop, and he
Oh,
was
that's
kind enough to
perfect.
let me use his frozen yogurt shop as a location. So we used that, and Griffith Park was the park,
Okay.
and then just like outside my house, like out near campus. For the last scene.
Outside the house. This place is a real dump.
Yeah, I thought I'd just fit that into. Well, she does.
Taking pot
He
shots
does
at
try
you
to
landlord.
dump her, so.
Yes.
True.
Oh.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
good.
get it. Okay.
That, Yeah.
Maybe
No,
that joke
it's
didn't
good.
work so
A
well.
little too smart for me right there.
Yeah, so okay, so I'm kind of curious about this class because I don't know too
Yeah.
much about it. So you do everything by yourself, though.
So well, the the thing about the P2 as opposed to the P1, which we did do everything by ourselves, more or less. You could have someone help with a couple things, but this week you were actually supposed to work with somebody else in a key role, one or
Okay.
two other people, but
But you didn't.
I was trying to, but then things happened that made that very
Okay.
difficult
So
to
was your
impossible.
assessment in
So-
class affected by your lack of crew members?
Well, I
or-
explained that, but look, so the dailies so the footage wasn't
You
as
know what dailies are.
professionally. No, they weren't as professionally captured in many ways, but all the footage was there that I needed. So in the end, it turned out all right. But I'm much happier with my 508 project that I'm doing
That
now.
you're
But it's not
working
done,
on.
so I can't show you yet.
Well, you should send it in when you are done, and then
Okay.
we can screen it.
That would be fun.
Yeah, so do you guys give each other feedback in the class, or how
Oh
does
yeah,
that work?
yeah. So this is I'm not sure. I guess you guys probably have people who bring on undergrad films
Yeah.
more often.
Yeah.
Um,
And we know in like 290s and 310s they screen them for the class, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
so it's
then-
very similar. Like the 507 is very similar to that. We screen it for the class a gajillion times. We go over the dailies, we go over the cuts. Everybody just says whatever, and you keep editing. That's how it goes.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, I'm blanking out. I had a question and then it's gone. So I guess how is I know you're not very familiar with the undergraduate process, but I guess what makes this a graduate level class and a graduate level film? Well, like what sort of challenges do you think you have that an undergraduate might not have?
Well, 507 was the very first semester, so that's almost like I feel like that starts you off in a place where maybe the undergrads are doing stuff later. At a later point, it's very similar to what you might even start off with in 507 in some ways. Although I've seen the undergrad films there's some amazing stuff that they do there. Like there's a lot of similarities. But I know that in 508, which I'm in now, it's very intensive, very professional. You work in groups of 3 in trios. Each have separate roles. I think there's a similar one in undergrad where you work in groups of 2.
Okay.
We haven't gotten there yet.
310, right?
310, yeah. So this is similar to that, but this is 508, and you work in groups of 3, and then all the films are screened afterwards in the Norris.
Okay, cool. And also another thing that I wanted to mention lastly, I loved your cinematography, and I thought it was so fun and playful. Was that like kind of intended to be moving and to have like the zoom?
Yeah, I had fun with that.
It's
I'm
like a
usually not a big fan of
paparazzi.
zooms as much, but
Yeah.
like I was doing it all handled like by myself because I had to. So like because of everything
I
that
thought
went wrong,
that
so I
really
was like, I'm just
added-
gonna have fun with
Yeah,
it.
I thought it definitely really added to the film. It was really, really fun.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
But we're gonna continue after this with on Showcase with Gus Bendinelli after these short commercial breaks.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Were your parents organized? Do you know the Dementors from Harry Potter? Yeah, dark energy.
Oh my God, we found Nemo. Large amounts of dust.
this team, you learn to never give up.
Even if you're down, third-string quarterback, clock ticking,
Hostile environment,
exhausted, you can never lose hope.
There are over 13 million people in the Horn of Africa affected by famine, war, and drought that are counting on us for help.
More people affected than the population of New York City
and Los Angeles combined.
And we can't give up.
Please go to this site and forward the facts about this crisis to everyone you know.
Do more than donate.
Forward the facts.
Welcome back. Now to continue guest week, we're going to watch The Last Job. Enjoy.
Listen, I just took care of the last guy. I'll be coming home soon. Yeah, I'll be fine. Don't worry.
So yeah, your mic doesn't come to you.
Why do you think I'm marrying you? Of course I will. I've been doing this for years. You don't need to tell me. Okay. I love you.
Coffee, thanks.
This is the last name on my list. My fiance and I leave town tomorrow.
You think Steiner's just gonna let you go? He practically raised us. You'll never get out alive.
Just tell me where to be.
that was the last job, and we're lucky enough to have the filmmaker Gus on to talk about it. So, hi, Gus.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course,
No
thanks for
problem,
being
yeah.
here today.
We appreciate it.
So how did you come up with the premise of your film?
Oh,
So, I came into 290 knowing that I kind of wanted to do like a noir film at some point, and it was kind of hard with all the limitations of 290. Like there's, you can't use guns, which I kind of like cheated around. You can't use fire, and you can't, there's all sorts of stuff that you have to avoid. And so I just wanted to see like how I can make a noir, like given the limitations of the class. And I sort of just like wrote this micro version of one. So
it's in black and white. It's noir.
It's what?
It's because it's in black and white.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, bad joke.
It was a nice try.
Nice.
I thought it was a nice try.
But you mentioned that you can't use guns. So what was?
So that was
Yeah,
risky
that was-
to
that?
go for
It was
that.
some trickery. I had someone hold up a big silver reflector, and then I had like this really bright light that I flashed into it for a quick second, and we did like 20 takes of it before like her flinch lined up correctly, and obviously the gun was off screen, so like I don't know, it worked for my professors. They're like, wow, like that was way more convincing than I thought it would be. So I was pretty happy with it.
So they weren't mad that you were like gun but no gun?
Well, they're not anti like concept. They're just worried about safety. So like obviously you couldn't have like a real gun or even a fake one on set, and so, but you can use them for like thematic purposes, which sort of fits into the genre.
So can you start using guns and other things in like your 310 films?
I don't think 310 allows guns.
Okay.
I think maybe 480 does. I'm actually not really sure, but they slowly start rolling back the
We should
rules.
get Josh back here and find out if you can use guns in school.
In grad school.
Or ever.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I was curious. So how is it like working with your professors in that film class? Is it a close relationship or is it more?
It's very much a close relationship during like pre-production and stuff. I mean, we have to do, we kind of like write an early draft of the script and they go over it with us, and it's actually really helpful. They help you kind of pare it down because they know, what works and what doesn't in such a short time period, and so they helped me pare it down to just like 3 locations, and I originally had more than that, and that made it, I think, a lot more streamlined than it originally was.
So during the pre-production, they're all like holding your hand, and then afterwards they're like, "Go fly, be free, little bird."
Yeah, well, like they don't really. I mean, they express like some concerns about production, like they said like, how are you going to do the gun effect, and like, is it going to work if they're sitting back to back? And I was kind of like, I can make it work one way or another.
It looked really good. Yeah.
Looks great.
And we liked how like you had the angles down low and stuff like that.
Yeah, thanks.
It was
cool.
cool.
I liked the scene where they were in the diner and it was switching off between the 2 perspectives.
Yeah.
Speaking of the diner, one thing that Hartley and I really liked on this film was all your locations. And and especially that downtown loft. But also,
so tell us a bit about
but also the restaurant, and just like how did you go about finding some of those locations, and was the apartment at the beginning and the end the same location, or?
Yeah, the apartment at the beginning is kind of like a different location. That's actually my apartment.
Okay.
Originally it was going to be like a phone booth or something, but I couldn't find one in public that was like safe. So
not like
so I just
east of the 110.
Yeah, exactly. So that was just my apartment, and then the diner is Pete's Burgers, which is up on like 24th and Hoover, and I had some friends who shot there before.
So did you have to fill out like contracts and everything to get the space?
I actually didn't have to do any paperwork. I just had to pay someone to be there. Which was great. I managed to get through this whole project with no paperwork, which was like the holy grail of 290.
Wow. Yeah, because I hear so much about paperwork.
Yeah, and the diner, they were really cool. They just kind of like let me do my thing, and I was there for a couple hours at like 3 a.m. and then I just left. And then the loft is my friend in my 290 class. That's like her apartment, and she just allowed me to film there, and it was amazing. I like could not have asked for a better location than that.
Wow.
So. Got really lucky.
Yeah, that turned out great, especially with like the Hotel Figueroa sign.
Yeah, I was like, yes.
I'm just mad that an undergraduate lives in that loft. Like that is not fair.
Well, it's good.
It's good for you though.
Good for them. Yeah, it's good for them.
I just want to live there.
I would like to live there too.
Sorry.
I think everyone would like to live there.
But okay, so I guess since you didn't have to do paperwork, that reminded me, like, what was sort of your budget for this film, especially if you didn't have to do paperwork? Like, did you manage to get in under what most of your classmates had to pay, or?
The only thing I really had to pay for was was to be at the diner, and that was really cheap. It was minimum wage for however long I was there to pay the guy to watch and make sure we didn't like steal stuff in the restaurant. And then I just bought like business cards and designed them myself and printed them, and then
misspelled.
And then, oh my God.
I didn't even notice.
There's
I'm sure
misspelling
viewers didn't notice.
in the
I
business
I was
cards
considering
that
publishing as a career, so I noticed that stuff.
Oh,
kills
okay.
me probably more than it kills you guys. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I thought it was like he was gonna be hitting like some like super spy like ex
Yeah.
MI6 like person who knows too much and they had to kill them. But that's I come up with these things to justify the little mistakes that people make.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a good audience member.
I guess.
Well,
I guess
spell
you
check
are.
mistake is costumer
because it's
is
an
a word.
actual word. Yeah.
No. But yeah, no, budget wise it was really cheap.
That's
I mean, I
good.
didn't really like have to buy anything much. I bought like a little bit of rope and that was it.
I guess we'll have to see if you can stick with that trend for your future films.
Yes.
Yeah, all of my 290s were really cheap. That was, I want to do it like as little paperwork and as little money as possible was kind of my goal without sacrificing.
Of all your 290s, where do you think this one ranks on?
I think this one is my best one. I think it's my best story.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of tried to do something different. My third project was a romance. My second project was like a mini apocalypse film, and my first one was a different assignment. But in any case, they were all kind of like totally different, and this was one that I really put the most pre-production effort into. So.
Well, it shows it's a really.
Yeah, I have a quick question too. So how long did it take like on a typical day of shooting? Like how many hours? Or did it vary?
It kind of varied. I mean, the apartment was like an hour because it's a really quick prologue. The diner was only like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, so you did it pretty quick and efficient.
Yeah. I only had like 2 or 3 days possible to shoot it in because spring break kind of interrupted the 290 schedule.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually have a shooting weekend, so I shot it all on weeknights when my actors were available. So
Very nice.
yeah.
And what was the process of getting your actors?
Well,
Speaking of
actually,
actors.
no. Well,
No?
I don't think we have time for that.
Oh,
but,
we don't have time for that.
But I think it was a great film, and
Thanks. Yeah.
and I forgot the last question I had, which just seems to be a theme for today's show.
That's okay. Well, thank you for coming
Yeah,
on.
Yeah,
thank
thanks
you.
for
It was a
having
really
me.
great
And
film.
unfortunately, that's all the time we have.
And if you want your student film on Showcase, make sure to email us at showcase@trojanvision.com.
You can catch us here every day on channel 8.1 at 1:30 p.m. or anytime at trojanvision.com. And we'll be here every Friday.
Every Friday. Thanks
Every
for
Friday.
watching. Bye.
You're watching Trojan Vision. For more of your favorite shows, check us out at trojanvision.com and like us on Facebook.